Optus Stadium. Acknowledge me.
Say his name and he appears.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Cooper, the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumours, and results. Well, the Saints get another big comprehensive win. This time it's at the hand of the Bombers. We basically ended their season. Realistically, mathematically, they can still make it, but they've got 4 hard games to come, and they may not win a single one of them. They might win 1 or 2 at their best. So, season's probably over for the Bombers. Now, let's ruin the party of some other teams. We've got Carlton, Geelong, and Richmond. Richmond are making fun. So, let's ruin Carlton's top 4 chances. Let's ruin Brisbane's top 2 chances. And let's ruin Geelong's potential finals chances. And be the party poopers, the Grinch, as Ross Lyons said in his presser. Mathematically, we can still make it. I did a ladder predictor last night. Mathematically, we can still make it. There's probably only one unrealistic game that we need to go our way. And then some 50-50s to go our way. So never say never, as they say. But we'll have to wait and see. Cooper Sharman is him. So is Rowan Marshall. So is Anthony Caminiti. Yeah, what a great showing it was from our Saints. Timmy Membry, Mitch Owens, and Anthony Caminiti get some great goals from the same pocket in the first and third quarter on the Saints cheer squad end, and it was absolutely phenomenal. It was in my match day vlogs. If you haven't checked that out, go and check it out. It's one of my most recent videos. Officially, technically it's been over this number, but it's official as it's visible. This will be not only episode 22 of the podcast, but this will be video number 600 on the channel. This video channel on YouTube, was created in May of 2021, and here we are 3 years and so months later. We're at video 600, and I am so proud to have reached that milestone, and thank you for the people that have been along the journey. This episode 22 of season 4, but this is video number 600. Thank you all very much, and if you haven't subscribed, please go and do so, and hit the like button. Want to aim for 60 likes. I make that 600 likes in this video. I would greatly appreciate it. To commemorate video 600, we want 600 likes. If you know any AFL, AFLW players, any up-and-coming draftees, or any state league players like VFLW, Waffle W, Sample W, VFL Waffle or Sample, and I've seen on the podcast, the Gold King Challenge or an interview, please send me a message or try and get something sorted. If you haven't checked out any of my recent videos with some of the West Perth young stars, future stars of the competition, with Paula Povic from the Hawks, Box Hill Hawks, VFLW side, and the Gold King Challenge last week. That was fantastic. Go check out my match day vlog, as I said, and any other videos around that, or even any old ones you want to go by. Do you want to go back and watch my old Scoops Medal editions? Because the Scoops Medal will be in between round 24 and the week 1 of finals. Will be the week of the AFLW. Round 1 will be the Scoops Medal. We'll have Kick It to Scoops, the Scoops Medal, and the AFLW show returning that same week. So 3 days in a row. I don't know the exact order yet, but they'll be the 3 back-to-back nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Kick It to Scoops, the Scoops AFLW show, or the AFLW show, and the Scoops Medal for the AFL. So it's going to be a big week that week, but this is a big show as well. This is episode 600, and also we'll start off with this. You want me on Cameo. Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Want me to roast a friend, wish someone a happy birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. Also, obviously, we got the state championships on. That was just recently wrapped up for the men's. Now, the women's one is still continuing. And this week on Saturday, they have WA in their first game hosting Queensland. So good luck to all the girls in those teams. This is going to be the WA. This is probably the strongest WA side. Not only, this is the strongest. This WA side is the strongest side, I feel, in this year's draft crop. You got Zippy Fish, Lily Patterson, Molly O'Hare, Claudia Wright, Juliet Kelly, Sienna Jezerski. There's so many great players. Georgia Haynes, Holly Britton. There's so many. I could list off the whole team, and in fact, I could. Taya Chambers, Tiana Teagle. There's so many names. Tash Enwistle. There's so many names that I could go through. So what SA was last year with Loz Young, Piper Windows, Sinead Goody, Molly Brooksby, Alyssa Brooke, Elaine Grigg, etc. from SA, and plenty more. This crop for WA, I feel, will be the best state crop for this year's AFLW draft at the end of the season. And all those names I just mentioned, I'd be shocked if any of them did not get drafted in December. So good luck to all those girls in Queensland. They've got some talent of their own as well. But yeah, we'll have to see how they go this week against WA in WA on Saturday. All right. Now, let's get right into the thick of things with the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Boom. Oh. All right. What have we got for Scoops Goes Bang tonight? We've got two things, okay? The first one is this. Stuart Dew was apparently, now I didn't get to see this game because I was at the Saints game at the exact same time, but I've seen comments and everything like that apparently Brisbane had Stewie Dew in the coach's box or whatever, part of the crew at Brisbane for this game, and he got shown on the screen of the game, on the screens that everyone can see in the crowd, and Stewie Dew popped on the screen, and the Gold Coast fans booed him badly. That is absolutely pathetic. He got dumped by your club. The reason you have been in a reasonable position this year is mainly because of Stuart Dew. Hardwick walked into this team that Stuart Dew built. Okay? Stuart Dew built this team. They dumped him just so they could get Hardwick in. And you know that's exactly why they dumped him. He started to build the team up, and then they dumped him. They only dumped him because they had a verbal agreement from Hardwick that he would join them. That's why he left Richmond and went on his break. That's why he joined Gold Coast. Sorry, not Richmond. He left Richmond, then joined Gold Coast. That's why Stewie Dew got sacked for Hardwick. No other reason. If it would have been another untried coach, they would have just kept Stuart Dew until another year or so. So, Stuart Dew built Gold Coast to where it is now, and where they've been so dominant at home, except for on the weekend. It's like a little bit of karma, I feel like, to boo Stuart Dew for no bloody reason. He didn't leave you. Your club dumped him. So what are you booing him for? He hasn't even given you a jab on the way out. He hasn't given you a drive-by and said something bad. He's just copped it, unfortunately, and moved on to do what he's got to do. Been with the Cricket Australia team. Obviously now he's doing something with Brisbane. So he's doing what he's doing. Grow up. Why'd you boo him for? He didn't leave you. You dumped him. Okay? It's like someone dumps someone. Like a girlfriend or whatever, or boyfriend or whatever, and you dump them, and then you're feeling sorry for the person who dumped someone. Like, what? If you dump someone, why should people feel sorry for you? Feel sorry for Stuart Dew in that example. He did nothing wrong and nothing to warrant being booed. Completely unacceptable. And I don't like the people that slander Stewie Dew like that, or for any other reasons. It's completely unacceptable to the Gold Coast fans, because there's not many of them, let's be real. For the ones that did boo him, lift your game. Pathetic. Now, I want to stress enough for this next one that Hawthorn are also in the firing line here with the Bulldogs. The main topic here is Bulldogs. Now, Hawthorn do this pretty regularly, so they're also going to be included in this. And don't think for 1 second that I enjoy Hawthorn doing this, and this is the only reason I'm bringing it up now because the Bulldogs did it. Look at this photo. They had a great win on the weekend against Sydney, might I add, okay? Look at this selfie crap. Did you win the premiership? Did you win the premiership? No, you did not. Did you win a final? No, you did not. Did you win the last game of the home and away season to qualify for finals? No, you did not. What the hell was that? And don't worry, Hawthorn aren't getting an excuse from this either. They did this on the weekend too. You know, he was like, "Oh, well, come on! They beat they beat Sydney, the premiership favourite, and everything like that. They smashed them. They put them to the sword. They did smash them, and they did embarrass Sydney. They were very good. But this ain't a bloody grand final victory. This ain't even a finals victory. Like, seriously, the carry-on's ridiculous. And for clubs that carry on when they beat someone and they jump up and down like they won the grand final, that's also ridiculous. Now, you're allowed to be excited and everything like that, absolutely. But, like, I've seen some players get interviewed after the game, and they go, look, yeah, it's a great win, but, it's only one game and we've got to keep on building this and stuff like that, they say. That's what you should say. You can say, yeah, it's a great win. We're so bloody excited. But look at this. Carry on. Like, seriously. Now, I'm sure Adam Treloar, who's holding the phone, wasn't the one that orchestrated this. Probably someone else did inside the media team or something. But, like, fair dinkum, that is embarrassing. And the Hawthorn one's actually, now that I look at that a little bit more, the Hawthorn one is more of a carry-on than that. But that is still a disgrace as well. And you always see Jack Ginnivan and Nick Watson and those guys be center of attention in those selfie things, so like James Sicily, etc. It's pretty embarrassing, to say the least. I mean, especially when you do it consistently. If the Bulldogs don't do this again, then maybe they've learned their lesson. But clearly Hawthorn haven't. They're having a great run at the moment. You can be excited up and about. But like writing comments like light work and this, like if you go look at the Hawthorn pages and you'll see some of theirs. They do it every freaking win, basically. It's like Hawthorn, for example, they're not even in the final 8 at the moment. They're bloody close. Around 1% coincidentally behind the Bulldogs. But it's just tame it down a little bit. And for people that say, oh, what was if St Kilda did, you like it? No, I wouldn't. I think it'd be cringe to a degree. And depending on the situation. If St Kilda did this after they beat Sydney, I would have said, great win, fellas. So bloody excited. But calm down. It's one game. If this was a grand final, I clearly would get it. But any other week, maybe some leniency for other finals, maybe. And after the siren win to make finals, maybe. But any other week in the home and away season is just embarrassing, really. Or if it was the club's first win in their history, maybe. But it's not. So lift your game. Pathetic. That's embarrassing. Hope you guys and girls enjoyed that edition of the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Now, also, if you would like to join my podcast in an on-screen or off-screen role, whether that's being a co-host on the podcast, on the AFL or AFLW show, or helping out filming for some of my goal kicking challenges or interviews, please send me a message on Instagram, AFL Info Live, or Facebook, AFL Information, Trade Rumours and Results, the page with over 56,000 followers. And if you could subscribe or follow or like those platforms, hit right here on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, I would greatly, greatly appreciate. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well, which this episode will be on this evening, and as you may be listening to through right now. All right, now it's time for my Scoops Round 20 AFL Team of the Week. Very, very, very hard to pick this one. All right, so from the back line, the pockets, Dane Zorko and Nasiah Wangani Malira. Fullback, Jack Buckley. Half back line, the flankers, Matt Roberts and Lockie Whitfield. Centre half back, Nathan Broad. Wingers, Andrew Brayshaw and Finn Callahan. Centreman, Harry Sheezel. Half forward line, the flankers, Cooper Sharman and Jesse Hogan. Centre half forward, Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Forward pockets, Connor McDonald and Toby Green. Full forward, it's hammer time. It's Anthony Caminiti. It's hammer time. Ruckman. Rowan Marshall. Rovers, Nick Dacos and Adam Trelaw. Interchange, Cal Wilkie. Tristan Cherry. Tom Green. Lucky Neal. And James Peatling. The emergencies, Sam Flanders, Tom Powell, Tom Stewart, Jake Saligo, Jaden Stevenson, and Charlie Curnow. All right, let's get that team up on the screen for you all. Now let's get that banner off as well just for a second in the meantime. And reasons. This was the hardest team to probably pick all year because off the top of my head, there was 18 players over 30 disposals or more. So some aren't even on this list at all. It's harsh, but I balance it off efficiency, clearances, score involvements, everything like that, meters gained, etc. So it's very hard to pick. It was also very hard to include two ruckmen. Originally, I had Cherry not in the team, and I had to readjust to put him into the team. So I had to move probably the two on the first two on the emergency list that you can see, and there was Flanders and Powell moved out for Cherry and Peatling. It was just very hard to ignore Cherry's form. Rowan Marshall was clearly the best ruck this year. He is the best ruck this year, Rowan Marshall as well. But the best ruck this round as well. 1 goal, 26 disposals, over 30 hit-outs. Rowan Marshall was a beast. Like over 20 contested possessions or thereabouts. It was just phenomenal. He killed Sam Draper by a country mile. Marshall's stats: a goal, 26 disposals, 10 marks, 13 contested possessions, 4 intercept possessions, 5 score involvements, 8 clearances, and 30 hit-outs as well. Rowan Marshall was awesome, and Draper had 7 less hit-outs and 17 less disposals. He got absolutely torched by Rowan Marshall. Let's go to the back line now. Dane Zorko, 32, was a lock. Jack Buckley had like 14 or 17 1%ers. Intercept possession, so he was a lock. Wanganeen Maliri kicked a goal and 31 was a lock. Matt Roberts had a goal and 36 was a lock. Nathan Broad had like 17 1%ers, not Jack Buckley, but he had over 10. I think he had 14 Buckley, but Broad had 17. He was a lock. He had like 15 marks, 27 disposals was a lock. Lockie Whitfield had 35 disposals and a goal was a lock. Andrew Brayshaw had a goal and 36 was a lock. Sheasel the same, a goal and 36. Finn Callahan like 34 was a lock. Cooper Sharman kicked 3 goals, 3 goals, 21 disposals, like 10 marks, like 10 score involvements, like 4 goal assists. Cooper Sharman is him, and he was a lock. He absolutely killed Ben Mackay, who is a decent defender in himself. Chamari Ugle-Hagan kicked 4. Jesse Hogan kicked 4. Connor McDonald kicked 2 and 28 was a lock. Hammer time, Anthony Caminiti, 3 goals, 15 disposals, like 9 marks, like 4 contested marks as well, like Cooper Sharman was a lock. Toby Green was very good as well, kicking 3 goals, like 16 disposals. Rowan Marshall already mentioned. Nick Dacos had 18 disposals at quarter time, 26 at half time, finished with 42 for the game, was a lock. Adam Treloar had 40 or 41 disposals, was a lock. Callum Wilkie had 21 disposals, had like 11 marks, 12 marks. And a lot of intercept possessions and 1%ers, was a lock, and killed Cole Langford, who only had 8 disposals and didn't score a goal. Tristan Cherry was the next best ruck, 1 goal, 25 disposals, like 50 hit-outs. Any other week he'd be a lock to start, but Marshall killed Draper. Cherry played on Blitzars mainly. Tom Green kicked a goal and 33, was a lock. Lockie Neal, the same. I thought it might have been 34 for Neal. And James Peatling had 28 disposals, but he had like 11 clearances and a lot of meters gained and a lot of score involvements and contested possessions as well. Why James Peatling got in, I could have put Sam Flanders or Powell, and I did have him in originally over Peatling and Cherry, but I went with Peatling. It's just too hard to ignore. So people are going to be saying, Jesus Christ, that is like 12 players between St Kilda and GWS. And well, if they win and they win well and have great standout performances, like GWS, you got Buckley, you got Whitfield, you got Callahan, you got Hogan, you got Toby Green, and you got Tom Green. So it's like it all deserves a spot. Jack Buckley as well, if I didn't mention him. St Kilda, you got Malira, you got Sharman, you got Caminiti, you got Marshall, you got Wilkie. So, I mean, they all really warranted a spot in the team. Let me know your thoughts on my team of the week down below, and we'll go from there, I guess. You haven't hit the like button, please go and do so. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Costs absolutely nothing. I'm not going to make you pay to do things. Now, all right. So now, what are we going to go through now? All righty. Let's now. Oh yes. Now keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen. Now, about 3 weeks ago or so, I did my 2024 AFLW draft power rankings for my opinion. I will be doing the same for the AFL one in the next day or two. So keep an eye out for that. Keep your eyes peeled on these social pages. And I may do a video on here. I'm still determining that. So get ready for that. At least in a post, if not a post, in a video. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I've compiled a list of 24 right as of right now. So maybe my top 24 Scoops draft AFL power rankings for this year's draft. Who will be the number one pick, in my opinion? You'll have to wait and see. Will it be Josh Smiley? Will it be Jagger Smith? Will it be Levi Ashcroft? Will it be Finn O'Sullivan? Will it be a dark horse? You'll have to wait and see until that night. You will have to wait and see. All right, now let's go through. Actually, no, I'm not going to review round 20 yet. Let's go through my Supercoach talk. What a great round of Supercoach I had. I went up 2% in the ranking from top 29 to top 27. I scored 2,521. Top 3% for the round. I'm really impressed with that. I thought it would have been better than that, though, in terms of the top 3% for the round. I thought it would be in the top 1%. And I also should have scored 2,600. If it wasn't for bloody Butters and Sam Walsh just scoring like 90s and 80 range. Bailey Dowell got robbed of points. Brody Grundy got like 89 or 90 something. He should have been 120. Dale should have got like 110. Butters didn't perform well. Walsh didn't perform well. So really, there's an extra 100 or 150 points right there. So I would have got 2650, I think, with that team. But here we are. Sheasel was my captain, getting 160. I did a loophole on him, thank God, and not Butters. But yeah, so that's that. There are one trade remaining. How many trades have you got left remaining? Some trades that you're pondering? I was looking at last week, getting rid of, say, upgraded Dowling or Manor to a Dane Zorka, ideally. But I had to trade Zach Fisher, which got me Dan Houston, who just scored under 100 as well and really underperformed for Supercoach and in general. Not really in general, but in Supercoach he did. He started like a house on fire on like 51 at halftime and then scored stuff all after that, or 61 maybe. He got like 91 or something and wasn't good enough. 98 maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that's what it was. And, so I had to get him in for Zach Fisher. So he couldn't do the amount of Dowling. Now they got one trade. Then with Sexton being dropped, he's on my bench, so now I've got to be careful. Sexton could come in this week with Bodie Hewlin suspended for a week. No word yet as of this recording if they've accepted that ban or not. I know Freo are challenging that Fives one batch man, which, by the way, he probably deserved. He elbowed him in the throat, basically, or like that in the throat. And Jack Petruccelli and Jai Cully, the Eagles have both accepted the bans for those two players, so they will miss this Friday night in a doubleheader Friday night game in Perth against the Suns. Dom Sheed should get back in the team now, you would think. And I don't know what the status with Gaff is. He hasn't been playing waffly. Apparently he's injured, but I haven't seen anywhere to say that he's injured, which is interesting. Don't know what the go is there. But yeah, so 2,521, 2,521. Really impressed with that. I think that might be my biggest score this year, if not my second biggest, I think. So regardless, really happy with that. So now let's look at 4 rounds to go. Let's see who is leading my Scoops league, fan league. I know Rolls Macca wasn't first. He's been teetering around second to third, teetering around there. I went up 4 spots only, 147th now. I would have thought it would have been a lot higher than that, but here we are. All right, here we go. Rolls Macca's dropped again. He had a great score, but he's dropped again. In first place, we've got Declan, who's a Saints fan, so it's great to see a Saints fan on top of my Scoops fan group, Supercoach League. In second place, I have Justin, who is about he's about 145 behind Declan, so he's got a little bit of work to do, and hopefully Declan can have an off week and he have a big week. In third place, I have Ben. In fourth place, I've got Rolls Macca, who is just under 300 behind the leader, so got some work to do. In fact, no, that's a different Riley. Rolls Macca is now fifth. the round 20 games. So it started way back on Friday night at Marvel Stadium. It was Carlton hosting Port Adelaide. Carlton lost again. Port get an important away win. They play all right at Marvel. They got a good record there too, Port. They won by 14 points, 65-79. There was no real key standouts in this game for me. I thought Charlie Kerner was probably the best player on the ground. Ollie Wines had his good patches as well, and Willem Drew, but there wasn't really any key standouts for me, really. It's really hard for Brownlow, and I want to do these Brownlow votes. Who the hell am I going to give these votes to? But we'll have to wait and see. But, they got the job done, Port, in a crucial game, and Carlton, again, losing again. In a game they probably should have won. They had a 25-point lead at halftime, Carlton. So Port did come back to their credit, got the win. Some dodgy umpiring there, might I add, going in Port's favour. But here we are. Some players that don't deserve games, but, here we are. All right, the next game to go through is Geelong and North Melbourne. Geelong in the end won by 40 points. North were in this in the first quarter, then they were equal. Well, not equal, but, in the game at halftime. And then there was that Tristan Cherry controversial non-50 not paid, which, are you surprised now? So many inconsistencies with umpiring this year in any game. It's quite laughable how Cherry was lining up. The Geelong player on the mark, I don't know who it was, can't remember. They had their hands out, they were stretching out, and they were moving. And the umpire didn't call him to play on either. So, plain and simple, that's 15. How that wasn't paid, I don't know. Oh, we know why. Because Geelong are the most protected club in the competition. That is pretty bloody simple. That is exactly why. But yeah, North, in the last quarter, they were terrible. They gave up a few late goals to Stengel in the third quarter, and that just stuffed them up, and that was all she wrote for them. But, yeah, they were in it for 2.5 quarters, but that's not good enough in a way, though, is it? The next game to go through is the Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane, 65-93. Brisbane by 28 points. Well, the Gold Coast home winning streak is over. It took until round 20, but it is over. They won their games in Darwin. They won all their games at Heritage Bank Stadium, which is what I call. I refuse to call it what they currently have it as. But yeah, it was, or Metricon, I like to call it too. So whatever. I know what it is, but that's not what I'm calling it. But yeah, now their undefeated streak is ruined. The Undertaker had his undefeated streak removed by Brock Lesnar. And now the Brisbane Lions, their arch rivals. Funnily, Brock Lesnar was one of Undertaker's biggest rivals, and he defeated his undefeated streak. He beat Taker's streak. Now the Lions beat their son's streak. No pun intended. So, yeah, they took it from them. They were never really in it. Their accuracy wasn't great, but Neil and Dunkley and McCluggage stood up. Eric Hipwood had to play as a key defender. He didn't do bad. But Gold Coast would be disappointed that they couldn't capitalise on the no key defenders of the Brisbane Lions. Eric Hipwood, a key forward, was playing there. Ryan Lester was their only other one. And I don't understand why the commentary kept saying, that Ryan Lester is their only key defender on the list. He's like 188 centimetres. That's not a key defender. Like, come on. He's a small to medium-sized, more medium-sized. But, seriously, credit to Ryan Lester. But, seriously, Jesus Christ. Now, the next game to go through. When the Saints go marching in. What a win. I'm so bloody proud. We basically stuffed Essendon's season over, which is great. If we can ruin Geelong's in the second last round of the year, that'd be swell. As I mentioned off the top. But, yeah, where do I start? Marshall. Again, one of the best individual ruck games this season. Cooper Sharman was fantastic. Hammer, Anthony Caminiti was awesome. Owens had a really good game as well. That can't be not mentioned. He was fantastic. Steely kicked 3 goals in the third quarter, finishing with 3 goals and 21 touches. He was really good. Butler with some great crumbing goals, as he always does. Higo popped up for a couple. Malira was fantastic off halfback. Riley Bonner was really good. Zach Jones, another great game. For someone that's been heavily criticised in his game since coming back in, he's had 20, 26 and 23 disposals. He's been fantastic, Zach Jones. His efficiency was in the 90s last week, and this week it was right up there again. So it's great to see players that have been criticised that are doing really well, in particular Zach Jones and Riley Bonner. They've shut up the haters for a while, and it's great to see. So keep it up, Zach and Riles. Great games from them. And Dougal Howard, another one who's had his haters as well, is having a terrific season. And when he was injured, it was shown for the 3 or 4 weeks that we missed him, that we needed him badly. And Zane Cordy wasn't cutting up to it in those games, and he got dropped in the end for it, with Howard still not there. So, and that's where we saw Ari Showmaker played, who could be in contention this week with Paddy Dow, and Filippo should be back. So it's a great problem to have about selection now. If Filippo is available, he'll come back in, obviously. Maybe at the expense of Hunter Clark. I mean, he wasn't bad, but there were the players that Ross mentioned, and Zach Jones was way better than Hunter Clark. So Hunter Clark could find himself out of the team this week. It could be Ryan Burns, or it could just be Hugo Garcia, who was the sub, and Clark goes the sub. But we'll have to wait and see there. Or maybe Darcy Wilson, but we'll have to wait and see. Who I thought was fine as well on the weekend, but great. Again, great problems to have, right? And Essendon, none of them deserve a mention because they were all shit. In particular, Sam Draper. Rowan Marshall owned Sam Draper again. That's it, Ro. That's it. And Ben Mackay got embarrassed by Cooper Sharman. Cooper Sharman is him. See, us Coopers know how to play football. And with the footy smarts, we have the skills. We can kick goals from anywhere. And we're very good footballers. And we kick goals after the siren. We kick goals on the boundary. We kick goals at the end to win our teams the game. The Coopers are him. Acknowledge us. That's it. And that's not an insult. That's just a fact of life. Yeah. SummerSlam, by the way, this Sunday. WWE SummerSlam. The Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, should be returning. Get your ones in the sky and acknowledge the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. I acknowledge you, my Tribal Chief. Now, all right. Saints, fantastic. Ross says he wants to be the Grinch, as I mentioned earlier. Let's keep doing that and ruin people's parties and September plans and send them packing. Melbourne 83, GWS 85. Melbourne have got 4 50-50 games coming up. Is their season done? I think it's done. Mathematically not. 50-50 games that they can win. They got the Bulldogs this week. They could win that, but they could also lose that. Now, I mean, I'm saying the obvious, they can only win or lose. Well, they can draw. But, this could go either way. We don't know what Melbourne's going to turn up, but they need to fix that form line. Does Tom Fullerton finally get a game? Off what Goodwin said a few weeks ago, you would think he's never getting a game. He's going to be delisted guaranteed at the start of the year, at the end of the year. I think he should be given a chance to prove himself at AFL. He's dominated the VFL, so he deserves a chance. And maybe he does need to give Max Gawn a chop. Harrison Petty, I don't know why he gets a game, and I don't know why Simon Goodwin keeps saying he's been doing well. Tom McDonald deserves to be dropped. The talk for Clayton Oliver getting traded, I don't think that's just stupid. Like Simon Goodwin said, why would they trade out one of their best midfielders and probably their best midfielder that's available to play right now? So it just doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of people saying that Jack Steele should be traded. They're just people that are saying that are stupid. The people that say that St Kilda should trade Max Hing, you're also stupid for saying that because that is a dumb opinion. That's just laughable. But yeah. All right. So GWS, I mentioned earlier, in my team, those 7 players, Callahan, Green, Briggs did really well, though, on Max Gawn as well, might I add. He beat Max Gawn. Another ruckman to beat Max Gawn this year. Who's had a great year, but he's missed some games. May not be the All-Australian ruckman or even in the team now. If it's going to be 2, it'd be Gawn and Marshall. Marshall, Gawn. Might be Marshall and Cherry at the moment. We'll have to wait and see if they even put in 2 rucks, which they should, because them 3 have been really good. But I think Marshall and Cherry are the informed 2 at the moment. So wait and see. My All-Australian team will be revealed that week of the bye round in round 1 of the AFLW season. Great game from the Giants. Pete Ling, fantastic, as I mentioned off the top as well. Right, the next game was Freo 110, West Coast 75. 35-point win of the Dogs, you'd be like, yeah, it's okay. They were losing at half time. The Eagles were on song. Then in the third quarter, they gave up 5-5, 35-1 behind. And Jack Darling got a point late in that third, and I was watching that, and it was very disappointing for the Eagles to just do that. They had the momentum on their side, and they just lost it in one quarter. And they were technically in the mix heading into the last quarter. Just it didn't look like it the way they played that third quarter. It was disappointing for them. Brayshaw was good. There was spot fires everywhere. Harley Reid didn't get suspended because Elliot Yeo pulled him out of it. It was a brawl. All these players got suspended. As I said, 5. Petruccelli and Cully got a week. But yeah, it's very interesting. So very disappointing if you're an Eagles fan for this. I know, you're a young team. McGovern wasn't playing as well. but that doesn't excuse to have that lead and then just stuff it up like that in one quarter. Really not good enough. I don't care who you are and what teams you are and who you got out and who you're versing. To have a 3-goal lead and then blow it in a quarter and then be down by 3 goals, basically at 3 quarters time or even more. It's just like, that's unacceptable. And you're at home as well. So I know Freo, that's their home ground too, obviously, but still not good enough. Andy Brayshaw was Freo's best player. I mean, Sarong had good numbers if you looked at it, but was he that good? How he got best on, I don't know. It should have been Andrew Brayshaw. And Tim Kelly was West Coast best player according to a lot of people, but I thought that Jake Wardman was pretty good as well. All right, now let's go to the Sunday games. We got Collingwood and Richmond, 93-67. Collingwood by 26. No, I think not Gold Coast. Collingwood were on top from the start. People that say, "Oh, it wasn't really a big win," they pumped them early when it mattered. First 2 quarters. Dacos at 26 at half time and 42 for the game. You know what? Yeah, I just think great win for the Pies in the end. They put their foot down in the last quarter, and then Richmond just piled on some goals. Credit to them for sticking through it and not giving up, but it weren't that good. And Nathan Broad was clearly their best player with 27 disposals, as I mentioned. Dan McStay popped up for 3 goals, I think. It'd be a good return for him. Dacos. Josh Dacos at 32, but he had 13 in the last quarter, what people got to remember. And a lot of Richmond players had decent numbers like Loston and Short, who was back to some of the form he should know. He's had a pretty underperforming year, Jaden Short, for his standards. And why would they trade a Dan Rioli? I don't understand. They don't need more drop. He's already got plenty. And Liam Bays is going. So, why the hell are you trying to get rid of these players? And Martin could be gone. Dustin Martin's to Gold Coast, maybe, if he doesn't retire. I feel it's pretty simple here with Dustin Martin. He either retires or joins Gold Coast. I don't see him, as of right now, at Richmond at all next year. He's either retiring or joining Gold Coast. I think that's the only 2 options it could be. And my gut feeling right now is that he's retiring. And they're pushing him through the year because he's not played this week. He's having breaks, gone to New Zealand, bit of an injury, everything in between. It just looks like they're setting him up to retire. Whenever the last game for them is in Melbourne, I think that'll be his last game as a Tiger. Whether it's retiring or not is a whole different story. I think we should know how he goes there. All right. The next 2 games, Sydney and the Bulldogs. I kind of mentioned this already on the Bulldogs side of things in the Supercoach Bang. They were really good, led by Treloar with 40 touches, Ed Richards and Jamari Ugle-Hagan. Matt Roberts was Sydney's best player, along with Brodie Grundy. And outside of that, Heaney had 32, but I don't think he was that good. And he wasn't using it as well as he normally would, turning it over a bit. His efficiency was in the 60s, I think. Not his Isaac Heaney best. He got robbed a little bit, though, in Supercoach, might I add. But, here we are. Nick Blakey played his part as well with 25 possessions and 6 intercept possessions, but he did have 5 kickouts. But he did have 12 1%ers. So I thought Nick Blakey actually was good along with Grundy. And who did I just say? And Matt Roberts, a goal and 36 off halfback, was about 800 metres game, was terrific on the SCG, but his team were pretty shit, and John Longmire will not be happy with that. Are you concerned, Swan fans? Having Rowbottom and Florin and Papley and Rampy go out lately, and Mills been in and out and injured for most part of the year, and Parker being suspended for 7 weeks, or out for 7 weeks. Suspension was 5, I think, and then they had the bye and everything between the men's and the AFL side and the VFL men's side. So which was 7 weeks anyway. Are you concerned though? They had their close loss, but then again, Logan McDonald, if he kicks that goal against Saints and Freo, they smash North. All this a one-off, do you? But they've scraped over and just lost. Disappointed, losing at home to Freo and losing the Saints and Marvel. So how are you, Swans fans? Are you obviously you're happy? You're still first, and probably will stay first at the end of the year. But are you disappointed with how you've been the last 4 games in particular? Not so much the North game, even though in quarter time, I think you were down to North. So really, you've had 3 strong quarters in 4 games. So are you a bit concerned about that? That's one to keep an eye on how Sydney go this week as well. Who are they playing, Sydney? They got Collingwood. No, not Collingwood. That's the week after their CG. They got Adelaide in Adelaide on Saturday night, which that could go either way. The final game to go through is Adelaide 58, Hawthorn 124. Adelaide lost to Hawthorn by 66 points. Matty Nix calls this the worst loss in a few years at the Crows. And that was embarrassing. A slight chance of finals. That chance is dead and buried. My Saints are now past them by 2 points. That was embarrassing from the Crows. Tex Walker played his part, Laird and Saligo and Dowling to a degree. But The rest of them, I don't know what the hell they did. What the hell was that? I know Hawthorn on a winning streak. They won like 8 games in a row, like Brisbane or something. But like, that is just pathetic. That really is pathetic. You had guys like James Sicily taking the piss, Luke Bruce as well running into goals, Connor McDonald, Dylan Moore, Jarman Impey, Marby Chol, Will Day, Lloyd Meek played his part as well. Even though Riley O'Brien had 10 more hitouts and 3 more disposals, I thought he did well. Lloyd Meek did have 6 tackles and O'Brien had 3. Actually, Riley O'Brien was probably better than Lloyd Meek. But regardless, the Hawks were way better from the team point of view. And I'd be very disappointed as I'm an Adelaide fan. And the Hawks fans, I did say this fairy tale love fest story would stop soon. Well, it's been going for 8 weeks. I thought it probably would only last that month. So credit to them. Will it continue? They've got the Giants in Canberra this week. That will be a big test. If they beat them, then they could beat anyone. But we'll have to wait and see. But then they've got Carlton not long after that, I think. So 2 huge games for Hawthorn. And they're big games. Even more bigger now because they're only out of the 8 on percentage to Bulldogs. The Bulldogs got Melbourne, so that's 50-50. So they've both got hard games this week, so we'll see how they go. All right, speaking of games this week, let's go preview the round 21 games to wrap things up this evening. Right, on Friday night, we're going to doubleheader. They're experimenting it again. 7:15 at Marvel Stadium. It is Footscray, they're calling themselves this week, against Melbourne. I'll be tipping Melbourne in this one by 10 points. Surprising, I know. The next game is the Eagles hosting the Suns, 8:30 Vic time on Friday night. I'll be tipping the Suns in this one by 12 points. Saturday games, we start off with at Marvel Stadium, 1:45 is North hosting Richmond. I'll be tipping North Melbourne in this one by 10 points. The next game we're going to go through here is, so I said North by 30 points, if you didn't hear me. North by 30 points at Marvel Stadium. Geelong hosting Adelaide at GMHBA, 4:35 on Saturday. I hope the Crows win, but unfortunately I think Geelong will win this one by 25 points. Come on, Crows. Get it done for Scoops. Saturday night, Port Adelaide hosting the Swans at Adelaide Oval, 7:30 Vic time on Saturday night. I'll be tipping Sydney in this one by 12 points. Make that 22 points. 22 points. Saturday night in what will be Scott Pendlebury's 400th game. So congratulations to Scott Pendlebury on game 400. Great milestone. Got another contract for next year, he said today at a presser. So we're on the Pendles on 400 classy, silky games. Scott Pendlebury, well done, new star. And they've got a commemorative jumper, Guernsey, for his milestone game this week. So I'll be tipping the Pies in this one to get it done for Pendles by 1 point. And dare I say it, and this would be a great fairy tale moment for the comp, Scott Pendlebury to kick the winning score or be part of the play that sets up the winning point or smother or run down tackle or something like that. I think Pendlebury's going to have the moment in his milestone game, in his 400 game. He joins the 400 club. I don't know how many players there is in there. I think there's 5 or 6 and he'll be like 6th or 7th. So, well done, Pendles. Sunday, 1:10 at Manuka Oval. It's the Giants hosting the Hawks, Sunday, 1:10. I'll be tipping the Giants to end the Hawks' undefeated streak. Well, not undefeated, but their winning streak. And I'm going to go the Giants. And in a big way, I'm going the Giants by 35 points. I think the Hawks are going to get a reality check this week at Manuka Oval in Canberra. All the Giants aren't the best at Manuka Oval. On Sunday at the MCG, Sunday 3:20, it's Essendon hosting Fremantle at the SCG. I'll be tipping Fremantle in this one to get rid of those pretenders in Essendon and beat them by 27 points. And the Saints, 4:40, hosting the Brisbane Lions at Marvel Stadium. I think we're on. And I think Brisbane's going to lose their winning streak as well. I'm going for a big, big upset in a big margin. I don't know why. I think that the Saints are on right now. If we had won some of those close games where we lost 6 games by under 10 points or less, and 5 of those 6 were under a goal or less, I feel like we're in the finals mix and we're in the 8. But unfortunately, we're not. I'm with the Saints by 28 points. I think this is the game where Filippo comes back in, if he does play, and has like 2 and 25. Still does his best. Sinclair kills it as he always does. Marshall beats McInerney. And if Hipwood's in to play as a key defender, we need Hammer time, Owens, and co, and Membry to take advantage of that undersized defenders or players that don't want in that position. So Harris Andrews perhaps will be back from bloody concussion this week. Fags, if you want to give him an extra week off, please and thank you. But I'm tipping the Saints in an upset by 28 points. All right, we're going to wrap it up with this. You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend with someone having a birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players, any up-and-coming draftees, on something on the podcast, in the goal kicking challenge or an interview, please send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. So AFL, AFLW, up-and-coming draftees, or any state league players like VFLW, Waffle W, Sanford W, VFL, Waffle, or Sanford, and I'll have something on a goal kicking challenge, in a goal kicking challenge, or an interview, please send me a message on Instagram, AFL Info Live, or Facebook, AFL Information, Trade Rumours and Results. Thank you very much for tuning in. Video number 600, so proud to reach that milestone as well. Thank you all, and more goal kicking challenges and interviews to come. If you know anyone, please send me a message. Thank you, and go you mighty Sainers on Instagram, AFL Info Live. AFL, AFLW players, up-and-coming draftees, or state league players like VFLW, Waffle W, Sanford W, VFL, Waffle, or Sanford. You want to see him in a goal kicking challenge or an interview, send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. Or if you know someone, get in those leagues, please get them to reach out to me or tag them in some of the posts where I make about players that want to join the podcast. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you all. And most important thing of all to remember is go the Saints. And of course, acknowledge me, the one, and all aboard the Filippo train, then, now, forever together. And this time next Monday on Kick It Scoops, you should have seen the return of the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Acknowledge me, say his name, and he appears, I believe, in Roman Reigns.